Hello and welcome back to the end of the world. Well, the end of Dice's world, anyway.
Listen, okay? Stop singling me out. Everybody else is cool too.
I know, but you're the one who's causing all the trouble.
I
So
mean, that's true. I do cause a lot of trouble.
everybody else is just trying to
Yeah, I
like
haven't caused any
get
trouble.
along and be fine.
Nah,
Yeah, no,
when's
you
the
just lay
effort?
down the law. The trouble is happening to you, Tyrant, is the thing. So, yeah, let's find out what's going on with Tynant and Brace. You look like you have something to say, Elf.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I am not the cause of that trouble, though. That's separate from me.
Right, that's true. That's true. There's several troubles, pages of it. Okay, so what did you do immediately after all the like madness at the temple, Tynant? Like there was an explosion and Dice messed everything up and all that happened.
I mean, I would like to be able to say that I was surprised.
Yeah, like your peace, this like ceremony of peace lasted all of 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean, ceremony worked.
Did it though? Can we talk about that? Like, what was the? How do you feel? I guess is the thing after that, where you're like, I'm gonna bring everybody
Tynant is
together.
sad. Tynant's real sad.
Tynant's bummed. Okay, so what does that look like? How does Tynant respond to that?
I'm just like been in seclusion. Like I just don't want to see anyone. I'm just like fuck the world for a few days at the very least.
Okay, does that mean you're not working?
No, I'm doing like jobs that I can do outside of the public eye or like in a more alone kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like not talking to people or seeking out interactions with people the way I normally would.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because like it's just really disheartening when you do all this, organizing of something and then people show up and just like shit on it.
Yeah, and you were actually legitimately trying to help. It wasn't like you were trying to like manipulate them or whatever.
Yeah, I had no like dark agenda. I was just like, yo, you two are like having a hard time. Let's like talk it out. Let's fix your problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was a disaster. It was a complete and yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was. So what are you gonna do about all that? Like while you're, I guess we're coming in on you at the end of your period of seclusion. So first of all, what draws you back to do you just get over yourself or
Tyrant like comes to a decision about how to proceed.
right? So we see you like return from the mountaintop, as it were.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So it's been a few days, and what's the normal situation vis-a-vis like weapons in the temple? Like,
Well, why would you have a weapon?
cool, everybody has weapons. Like just
everyone owns one, but you don't walk around with it.
yeah, they do. They are now. Like everybody's
Yeah.
got a gun on them, like all the time. Most people, because they're not used to wearing them, like seem kind of uncomfortable with them. You see a lot of like rifles leaned up against sheds while people are working. A lot of pistols in boots and belts, but nobody. I mean, not nobody, but like most people aren't like carrying in a way that they're comfortable with. Aside from the few people who maybe came here from a violent past, or like
Or people like
Babylon.
who-
Yeah, Babylon, obviously, but that's no. It's I mean, seeing Babylon with a gun, you wouldn't be like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's his job.
Yeah, but now everybody's like just like lugging guns around and like knives and machetes and shit, and then there's just like
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
This whole situation.
yeah. So
And so I think the decision that I have come to
mhm.
is that the town is sick. This is what I've decided.
Okay.
There's like a badness there because I had like visions about this.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so here's a question. While you were on your little like work retreat, was there some like meditative action?
Brain opening?
Yeah, did you open your brain to the maelstrom?
Yeah, let's do that.
I
think
feel
that's a
like you
great
did. It sounds
way
like
to
you did.
start. It's a great way to start, Adam.
Oh,
Thank you for that suggestion.
You're welcome. See, this is the thing. It's a zero-sum game for me because if you roll, either you succeed and you get to ask cool things about the game, or you fail and I get to make shit worse.
Yeah. That's
I
fine.
I think I think rather than give you like some like hyper aggressive like the ghosts are rejecting you or whatever, I think you're just alone. You just get nothing. Like your decisions come from you and you alone. There's no help. There's no vision. There's no mystery of the ancients. It's just you. This is got.
Yeah.
It's like you got to do this as a person.
So yeah, Tynant decides that the town is sick, um, entirely of their own accord, and based on like previous stuff that I have had like visions about or whatever. But the spirits are not talking to me right now.
Yeah.
Um, and so I go and find Babylon.
Okay.
And I get him. I'm like, we need to go into town. You
All
and
right.
I both.
So
They're not gonna like what I have to say.
yeah, where is Babylon when you have this conversation with him when you find him?
I mean, I think Babylon probably is like
Is
has
he the
been
one?
scouting around or something. I
Well,
think
I was
maybe
gonna say, is he the one? Is he the one waiting at the foot of the hill for Zarathustra to come back? Like, because his job is guardian of you, right? Not guardian of like the town or of the temple.
yeah, but I think he has to still like do things that help the community at large. So
He's got
like
to work.
I think
Yeah.
maybe he does a lot of like checking up on our like fire trench and stuff like that. Like he'll do kind of the perimeter stuff.
Okay.
And so I like catch him coming back from that. And yeah, we're down by the road because that's where he'll like hang out for the most part.
Okay. So he, I mean, I think as you walk through town, casting your shadow, there's a lot of people that like. Some people like stop what they're doing to look and see you. Um, I mean, it's literally like the cult leader coming back from like, I have to go away for a time, my people, and now you've come back, and so
I've
there's
come
a lot
back and
of
I have my little like backpack with like some food in it and some water so I can like go into town,
yeah.
which is how all this shit started. So people are probably seeing that and being like, "Oh, not this again."
Sure. Okay, so you approach Babylon, and yeah, and I think he's probably talking to Melody. The two of them are finishing a conversation, and Melody looks at you when you walk up and then doesn't make eye contact and like kind of excuses herself quietly, like she's like kind of like head down, kind of like goes around you and gets away. And Babylon looks at you and just kind of shakes his head. Not at you, like not like where
Yeah,
were you, but like
but just
about like shit's
people.
going on. Yeah.
Well, difficult times for all of us. I see you are not spared this.
He just kind of shrugs, and like his like armored jacket like rattles a little with the shrug.
I'm going to need you to look after me for a few days in town.
He yeah, just nods.
We can't have them bringing their troubles here. Simply won't do.
He gives you a slightly accusatory look, and then whatever he was about to say, he decides not to say it. He like there's a little eyebrow raise, like a, and then quiet.
I'm like, yes, I know. I invited them. But they have no respect for what we do here. And in years past, there was an understanding. And I think perhaps they have gotten the wrong impression of late about why we are here and what we are doing. And that we need to reestablish our previous rapport with them.
And
As you might imagine, this is not going to go over well.
yeah, and he's like, rapport's your job.
Yes, just keep anyone from murdering me and we should be fine.
He looks back over his shoulder at the temple, and he's like, you think it's gonna be fine here if we leave?
Well, everyone's so well protected, Babylon. What could possibly go wrong?
It's like, I ain't mean that.
Sorry, I'm just frustrated. Yes, we will have to leave them to their own devices for a time, and I will trust that the laws which have been the pillars of our community for so long will hold up, at least for this last little bit.
Thing about
while I
pillars,
go and make my
boss.
intentions clear to the town.
Thing about pillars is they fall down. I mean, not saying I
Everything
think they
falls
will,
down
but
eventually.
yeah, and he kind of shrugs. He's like, as you say. He's not
We
being
built
like,
this place once. We can rebuild it if we need to.
yeah, he's not being skeptical. He's just concerned and is trying to like voice his concern. He's a bit like curmudgeonly about this kind of stuff, where he's just like there's no answer that he would just be like, yeah, awesome. It's just his job to be skeptical of everything and be like, yeah, there's danger everywhere. So you got to pick which one I got to face.
And so he gives me insight.
Yeah.
And so you can paraphrase it, but essentially, like throughout this conversation, he's giving me what he thinks the like best course is. So he thinks I shouldn't leave.
I don't think he thinks you should. He trusts you. He trusts you to make the right decision. So, he'll go with you, and he'll trust that that's the right thing to do. It's in his nature to just nudge you gently to be like, are you sure? And then if you're like, I don't know, then he's like, okay, obviously you need to work this out. But yeah, he's just like, things have been tense here, and you were gone a few days. Maybe he saw some stuff you didn't see, and he just wants to be sure you're not giving up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, cool. And yeah, so I say to him, I think my way of being like, I haven't given up on this is like, I'm like, if this falls down, I will be here to rebuild it.
Okay.
And I'm like, so if you're ready to go, it's a long walk.
Yeah. So I think the two of you head out for town.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to town and deliver a fucking ultimatum to Bill. And
all right, cool. So Brace, Brace, where you been up to? What's going on with you? So you're paying barter. So it means you have a place to stay, and you have food.
I feel like resisting the desire, her body's desire for the drugs made it harder to resist her body's need for food and water. So she chose one, and that was giving up some money and seeking someone out to give her food. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy food from the from like the market or whatever. Like there's traders, and there are people whose job it is to hunt and get more than they need, and then like trade for it. There's like an economy of trade there. And yeah, like you can find shelter as long as you're paying the barter. It's not like you have to rent a place from someone. Like you can have your own like place to stay. It's just upkeeping it costs you barter.
Yeah.
Okay. So your what is your like day to day look like? Do you just like hide in your house and hope you feel better, or
I think she like I said, she's circling the warehouse trying to like fight with herself about like what she like where she's going. Like she's basically, everyone in town knows, like she's just making like a circuit like every day, like trying to make a decision, like it's not very successfully.
All right. So this is probably the closest to like, this is we're catching in on the like the current time. So for you, Brace, I think that we find you like at home. You're finishing like eating something, and yeah, you hear several like booted like footsteps like outside, like people approaching your house. Yeah, I mean, it's
probably like,
have we ever seen Brace's? Yeah, like,
I mean, this is new, right? This is a place that you've just like traded for. Like someone is like, yeah, I'm keeping my dog in there, but I don't really need to. And
it's
you're like,
probably like basically this, it's like a chicken coop or something. Like it has something above it, but it's not exactly like warm or nice.
Right, because you don't care. Yeah, it's a shack. Yeah. It's a shitty shack. Okay. Yeah. So you can. I think it's like late afternoon. It's like gray and cold, but it's not dark. And yeah, you can hear like on the like planks of one of the walkways outside, you hear several people approaching. What do you?
If there's like an opening in the sides, like there's probably like some boards or whatever that's been knocked loose, something's crumbling. Like she looks outside, but she's not gonna just like go out and confront somebody.
Sure, and you like peer outside.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. You see Junior and Junior and Big Mac standing outside, and they're standing like a little ways away, and they're having a conversation, and Junior says something. You can't quite hear it, but Junior says something quietly to Big Mac, like they're whispering. Big Mac shakes her head, and then Junior nods, like, yeah, do it. And then Big Mac shakes her head, and then they play rock, paper, scissors. And then Junior's like, you hear Junior be like, fuck! And then looks at Big Mac, and then turns and starts walking towards your house.
Junior does, the 12-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so like right before, like if she like raises a hand to like knock on whatever, right before she does, I just like appear like at the door.
Yeah, the door like opens, so she's like got her hand up.
Yeah.
Just puts her hand down. Just like, hey.
And Brace is just standing there like, you have something to say to me, so.
She just kind of eyeballs you for a minute, like, all right, cool. Can I? And she like gestures like to your house. Like, can I come in?
Like Brace basically like looks back at this shack that's like nothing. It's like it doesn't have. It's not. I don't think it's spacious. Like
No, totally. She just wants to come inside. She just wants to be in your space.
And Brace just steps outside and like stands outside and says, "Take it. I don't care. Like if you want my house, then like take it."
Right. So she shakes her head. She's like, "The fuck? No, I just want to talk to you. I don't need no fucking shack. I got a house." And she like points, and you can see Rolf Ball's like big brutalist building. She's like, "Yeah, I live up. You know who I am, right?"
Would she have been like she's been actively outside with Rolf Ball and like actively in the community?
Yeah,
right?
we didn't see her on screen until today, but she's been around. Like,
Okay.
I feel like if this were a TV show, like we might have seen her, but like in the background of one scene where she didn't have a name and she was just Kid at the time, you know?
right, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do know who she is, and I know where she lives then because I watched People. Okay, so she like points
Yeah,
at
she's
Rolf
like, I
Ball's
got a
shack.
house, or it's his like mansion.
Oh, sorry.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, not shack. And Brace is like her basically entire life for the last 3 days has focused on like circuiting that area.
Totally.
So she's like, I know.
Yeah, so she nods. She's like, "Yeah, I seen you around. You haven't come in though. You know you're welcome there, right? My dad, he said some good shit about you, and well, with him gone, I figured." She like shrugs. "Maybe you and me, we could work something out."
I want to read her.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
Okay, so I roll plus weird.
Cool. Your mind opens to what the deal is with her. If do you want to ask anything now, or do you want to hang on to it?
I want to know what she intends to do.
She is here to do business, to offer you something in exchange for your services.
Same as Rollfall.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to know, how could I get her character to give me what I need with the least effort and expenditure from myself?
I mean, you gotta make the deal, right? You gotta negotiate. Because yeah, she's gonna try to give you the least possible for the most stuff. But she is here to deal. She's not here to like fuck you over outside of that. Like, she's here to fuck you over in the way that everybody is out to fuck everybody over. So
okay,
yeah,
I'll hold the last one.
Okay. Yeah. So she's like, yeah, she looks at your like shack and like you. She's like, you could have it way better than this. We got like heaters and shit in our place. It's like warm all the time and like dry too. It's fucking great. I live there.
And Brace is like, she's got goosebumps and she's obviously shivering, which is not normal for her because you said like she's cold, but she hugs herself and she's like, I'm not cold.
Yeah, she's like, no, it's cool. We got stuff to deal with that other feeling too, because I know you need that shit. And she like looks at you and she's like, it's okay. It's cool. We got all kind of people up in that place. You know, you don't need to be no fucking ghost wandering around outside jonesing for a hit. You can have the real stuff, the good shit, top shelf.
I'm not all kinds of people.
She's like, yeah, I know. Me neither. That's why we're having this conversation. Daddy knew that too. He wanted you, and now I fucking want you. So, what's it gonna take?
What do you want me to do?
She shrugs. She's like, oh, you know, this and that. Shit's getting shook out at home. See, I ain't the only person trying to get up in my daddy's business. When that bitch fucking drove him off the road, it created... Yo, Big Mac, what they call that shit? And Big Mac's like, power vacuum. And she's like, yeah, what she said. Vacuum power. So I gotta fill that hole. I gotta sit on my daddy's throne, but fucking Scab and Trench and bitches, they're all up in my shit. So I'm gonna need you to like help out around the house, you know? Do your thing. Cause I know you got ways.
And Dice sorry, Brace. Why are you doing that?
Because Dice is the best.
Because Dice is the best.
I'm just gonna change the overlay so everyone's name is Dice.
Everyone's Dice. Okay, yeah. So Brace just like looks at her, and she looks at Big Mac, and she looks at the warehouse house thing, and she smiles like really weird Brace smile.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just, I guess, like she doesn't have any things in the place, so she just like starts walking that direction. Like that's her version of a yes.
Sure. Yeah. So you walk past Junior, and Junior looks at Big Mac and does one of these. They're like and
I'm gonna fuck her over so hard.
the three of you head off towards the house. Do you want to ask do you have another question? Do you want to ask before?
Do I have to use it in the situation?
Yes. Yeah, it has to be like during the conversation.
Okay. I guess I should ask I want to know if her character's telling the truth, but in the way, is her character telling the truth about like just giving me what I want for me doing weird psychic stuff?
So what you're really asking is like, does she have like some hidden ulterior motive?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, totally not. Her Rolf Ball wanted a thing, and so she's just emulating him to try to be successful. And so this is a place to start.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So that's the thing. You can stay with Junior in the estate. And actually we're gonna call it now the estate. So you can stay there. And you don't, when we do as long as this continues, when we do the like lifestyle thing, you can rely on Junior to pay for you, but there's strings, right? You got to do shit.
Okay,
cool. All right, so let's jump to, I guess, like, I know you're coming, Tynan's going to town. And what, Ferris and Dice, what are you two?
How long after the Rolf Ball car crash is this? We never really dictated how much time has passed. Like
more than a week, but less than a month.
Yeah, that's sort of the ballpark that I was.
I mean, Dice wouldn't even know, right? You were out and you woke up, and it was
I'm just curious, out of character,
Yeah, of
as to like the time distance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm intentionally keeping it kind of vague because it doesn't. You wouldn't count days in the same way we do. It would just be
Cool
like
beans. All right.
some time has passed.
Yeah, but we have urgent business to attend to, but at the same time, so does Tynant.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I would like
here's my
yeah.
question. If we want to line up some stuff, Ferris, would you have gone to get Nipperkin yourself? Would you have like sent a courier to get him? Do you offer to pay him in advance? Are you like, take this, give it to Nipperkin and say, I need you, come down to town, which is like what people do sometimes, right? Like Nipperkin moves back and forth between, because the town doesn't, like, people have their own private, like Bill and Rolf Ball obviously have their own medics, but like people will just go like, hey, I need help, or somebody's pregnant and they need to give birth, like we need Nipperkin's help in town. So that's a pretty common thing they would call for him.
I mean, in terms of lining stuff up, meeting,
I was gonna say like maybe Nipperkin comes with Babylon and Tynant into town.
oh, okay, yeah, that totally works. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would make sense that we would organize that way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's the thing, right? Like, so Nipperkin comes into town with Tynant and Babylon, and I think we'll start with that. So Nipperkin goes to Ferris's place. Tynant, I think you know what's going on, like, right? Nipperkin is like, Ferris needs me for something. How much do you tell Nipperkin in your like message? Are you like, I need you here, or are you like, Dice is hurt, I need you to come help?
I mean, Nipperkin needs the right tools, so it's definitely somebody's hurt, so I really need you to come help. And I don't have a truck anymore, so I can't go to you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about as much. Like, my understanding is that the world at large doesn't know Dice is still alive, so
Your understanding is also that Dice only causes problems for everyone she's ever met, and thus probably isn't in good favor, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, mentioning it might not. No, Nipperkin, I think, carries the goodwill of the temple and wants to like see people healed and
So,
what have you.
I did try and kill them.
It's fine. It's
that was a
fine.
long time ago.
That was a long time ago, exactly. Nipperkin
It's the
doesn't
fucking apocalypse. Everyone's always trying to kill each other.
Nipperkin doesn't hold a grudge.
Um,
Not like you.
So my thought is that Tynant, so like Nipperkin has like extra stuff that he needs to bring. He's got like the full med kit. So Tynant is like carrying all this stuff.
Oh, right.
I'm also planning to like come along and help for the first little bit,
Sure. Yeah,
get
yeah.
things started correctly, because I can
Water.
get some of the water from the source and lead people in the healing ritual. And, like,
Yeah.
you do some magic healing to help things out.
Totally.
Like Nipperkin and I will work together in that way. So
Nipperkin's Nipperkin's healing is as much like actual kind of medical shit as it is like ritual. Like it's blurred together. There's a bunch of shit that if we saw Nipperkin doing, we'd be like, cool, all right, you're sterilizing your equipment and you're like giving them stitches and stuff, but you're also doing a bunch of other shit that's not actually medicine, and like, you know, if it weren't for all the weird psychic stuff, wouldn't be doing anything. But okay, so so Ferris, I think you we open on you and Dice and Nipperkin and Tynant, presuming you like are okay with Tynant coming along.
Yeah, if they get to the door, then I will just say, all right, Dice, are you listening for once? Yep.
damn.
I'm listening. What the fuck?
All right. These people are going to try and help you. I'm going to pay them to help you. So, I guess two things. Two just like really small things. The first one is like, try not to make them stab you again. That's what happened the last time someone came in here, and honestly, point two, you're becoming somewhat of an investment for me. I don't have very much barter left. This is going to be the last of it. We're going to have to work together after this is done, and you're going to have to repay me somehow.
Yeah. Look, I just play nice. Got it. Fine.
Yes, exactly. I don't feel like I should have to say that to people, but at the same time, okay, yes, I'm coming to the door. Yep, sorry, I just have to. Yep, okay. Hello.
Just prepping the angry child.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so Nipperkin is at your door, Tynant behind. Babylon, I think, tells you, Tynant, like, I'm gonna be a hit me up. Come get me when you need me.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, Tynant, as well. I didn't realize you were joining us. Can you keep a secret?
I am required by the strictures of my service to be honest at all times. But if no one asks, I have no reason to tell.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I could get behind that. Anyway.
That's a
yes.
well-worded no.
Yeah, that it seems fine. It's the same thing I would do in your position. Yes, the patient is through here. She is you may be familiar with her and her work. honestly, between the three of us, because she can't hear, because she's like in and out, I'm not entirely sure why I'm doing this. Anyway, come in. I guess. Don't look behind that curtain, please. That's the thing that I ask for when people don't come into my house, then they don't look behind the curtain.
Okay. Yeah, Nipperkin is just like waiting for you to like invite him in because he knows he has work to do. So he comes in and goes like straight for where Dice is. And Dice, you see when when Nipperkin comes around into the room you're in, he looks at you like, wow. Like there's a moment of like, holy shit, I can't believe you're still alive. Also, you are fucked up.
I did the best I could, but I'm not used to people.
Yeah.
There are entirely too many wires plugged into her. Like,
Yeah, drink it in. It's a thing.
Well, certainly you did everything that could be asked of you.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
let's begin then. So I like have this like big jug of the water from the source. I start laying out all my bits and pieces to help Nipperkin.
Okay.
I have one question before we start this. How much exactly of this is going to be scientific?
And Nipperkin looks at you like he's never heard that word before.
Yeah, Tynant's giving you a similar look of like,
right.
Certainly everything will be according to the rituals and proceedings that we follow.
Okay. How? Wait. Your laws, do they count here? The rules that you have to go by? Like if I say something wrong, do I still get in trouble even though it's my house? How does that work?
Your house, your rules. But my code is a personal one and I must uphold it at all times.
Okay, good. Because, I mean, I've seen what you do up there and,
Yeah, I'm glad we're all on the same page.
yeah. Yeah, maybe I won't say anything for now. Yep, if you could please do whatever it is that you're going to do. Here, I've got some stuff to trade you over, actually. I'll give you that after. You should probably do that now. I think she's still slightly bleeding. Like, I put some stuff in there, but...
Yeah, compared to when it started, slightly.
So Nipperkin walks over to you, Dice, and you're like sitting on this like table, and yeah, like there's like soaked through like kind of like foul like bandage over your knife wound, um, and Nipperkin like is taking it off and like unpeeling it, and he looks at you and looks at the wound and he's like, some of this is some of this is fresh, some of it not so much. What happened to you?
Rothball's little devil spawn came by and we had a chat. And you know how well my chats go.
He shakes his head and he's like, Jesus loves the little children. And he takes out his kit and opens bag, and he goes to like start stitching the knife wound in your like clavicle. And yeah, he doesn't give you any like anesthetic or anything, so it hurts like really like pretty
I'm
bad.
grit my teeth. I'm hard. I'm bad. I'm cool.
Yeah, so I think I say to Tynan actually after the aside, I'm like, oh, so that was Rolf Ball's first name. Jesus Rolf Ball.
Yeah, because people say that all the time. Jesus, Rolf Ball. It's his full name.
I mean, who's Jesus, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's not.
I mean, like in this case, Nipperkin is referring to like, yeah, a saying he's heard that he has no context for.
Yeah.
It's just a thing you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus was a fisher. And so he sets about tending to you. Now you're spending your last barter, right?
Yep, that's what I'm paying for the services with.
Okay, all right. So you heal back from 10. You heal back to 9.
Sweet.
From this, so you're not going to bleed out. You're not going to get infected and die. But Tynant, do you have any additional business?
I can also do some healing here. So
Okay.
yeah, so Tynant like anoints Dice with the water and like is helping out Nipperkin, but kind of doing this whole like sideline of like ritual stuff, whereas Nipperkin is more directly like doing doctor shit. But once everything's all like stitched up and whatever, the kind of like final bit is to basically just like dump a shitload of this water on you.
Before you do that, I'm very much like hesitant almost. Like, this isn't going to make me beholden or any shit to your temple or whatever. You got paid for this. You don't need my soul, do you?
No, of course not.
And try not to get any on the machinery, please. It doesn't like water very much.
It's true.
All right.
I kind of just shrug. I'm like, her life will, come at the cost maybe of some of these trinkets, but just like again.
If I was a GM, that's me doing like foreshadowing shit.
Let's see how it goes. I got a 7. Great.
Okay.
So I can choose one. Choosing one means I have to kind of decide whether or not this actually works.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Like I can get some other cool benefits, or it can actually work.
Yeah.
Is it more important to me that the source speak to me or that I heal this person? Screw it. I will be helpful. So anyone injured is healed.
Okay.
Is the choice that I will choose.
So what does that mean? Anyone injured is healed?
It literally says anyone injured is healed, period.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean harm goes away? I don't know.
It seems like there's a lot of like lack of clarity in these in the water bearer's moves, which is it's a thing. That's fine.
I mean, if the ruling is that is not actually going to heal any harm, then I probably wouldn't choose that option because it's not terribly helpful otherwise. However, maybe it heals a segment of harm.
Yeah, because it doesn't say how healed. Like,
Yeah, like
it totally can't be all the harm because
Yeah.
otherwise, what's the point of an angel?
yeah, totally.
I could lobby for the fact that it's just it heals your injuries and therefore all of your harm.
Right, that's
could
what I mean.
lobby
It's
for that.
super
I'm not
unclear.
lobbying for that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
of course.
there is grounds to make that claim. I am suggesting maybe a segment or
Maybe
two.
a segment of harm, yeah. Like some of the more grievous things.
Whatever you think is fair, Adam.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like as a principal, like this is the thing where you're supposed to like disclaim responsibility for this kind of stuff and not just arbitrarily decide. But I think, yeah, like I mean, it's the ceremony heals those who are injured, and it heals injury. But in this case, I don't think it can like grow an arm back or like
No.
Well,
you know.
so this is the thing, right? Is it doesn't necessarily have to grow her arm back, but it might.
No, I know.
close some
Yeah.
wounds or the other thing is you can just be like, no, it doesn't work for this kind of thing. In which case, I will
I
choose.
mean, there are a lot of things hooked up to dice right now as well that may interfere in some manner. I mean, just saying, like, there's like shit on the inside of her that is not necessarily working very well.
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, I think the thing is like yeah, you can heal another segment of harm.
Okay.
But it doesn't make you better. It doesn't fix you.
Yeah.
It heals you, but it doesn't fix you.
So I'm more comfortable, but it doesn't actually fix the vital problems.
You're still broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm still blue screening here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It puts a band-aid over the stump.
Mhm.
Makes the wound on the stump close a little bit. But it's not like,
Yeah.
growing.
Is it that she's not seeping anymore? Like the
I
outside.
mean, you will
bit
get
blue?
better like on your own, Dice. Like
Yeah.
you will actually you'll actually get better. Now is there a hex thing for healing someone?
Yeah, so I'm at hex. I get 1 extra with dice.
Okay.
I'm now +3.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
All right. So that whole process doesn't take too long. And Dice, you're in the position now, like you're well enough that you can like move around. You could leave the little like infirmary, but you're still the project is still ongoing. And I think that Nipperkin is like packing up all of his stuff, right? His like surgery tools, and then also his like, you know, prayer bowl and like the incense that he uses for his healing. And then yeah, and then prepares to go. But do you want to talk to him, Ferris, about your little project before he leaves?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. I assume that doesn't count as his help with the project. So
No, that was just you paid him to do a service. Yeah,
I sure did.
it's more like, hey, while you're here.
Nipperkin. Sorry. Thank you for the help. I'm sure Dice won't end up saying it herself, but I appreciate it on her behalf. Is that something you can do?
Is gratitude transferable?
Yeah. But well, I understand that she's no longer like there's no blood coming out of her in places that like shouldn't be and things anymore. But I was hoping to perhaps well, you saw that half of her is kind of not super there anymore. I mean, I'd like to make improvements to that, but I think I probably need your help. You know how people work a little bit better than me. I mean, I plugged her into all the things that I thought made sense, but
Yeah, so he's just kind of staring at you like he kind of understands, but is also terrified of maybe the answer. Like he's like, wow, okay, all right. So he kind of like just like lets you finish, and then when you stop talking, he's like, I mean, she's lucky to be alive.
great. But she doesn't have to stay in the unfortunate state that she's currently in, right? Like, I could help. I could. No, I'll be straight with you. I've been thinking about possibly like making her some new bits. It's not offensive to you, is it? That's not against the spirits or whatever.
He shakes his head. He's like, no, no, I mean, there's something there that he doesn't talk about and moves on instead. And he says, it's certainly plausible. I mean, you've seen Bill, right?
Yes, exactly like Bill. So I was hoping that perhaps we could make some sort of a deal. If you could provide me with the knowledge and expertise you have on the people, then perhaps I could do the same for you in telling you how to do the thing with the interfacing of the people to the shinier bits, to the, replacing veins and stuff with cables.
Horrific. Why don't you roll to manipulate Nipperkin? Because Nipperkin is resistant to this idea. You're a bit scary.
Okay.
So, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and? All right. So you say that you're like, I'll trade you or whatever, and he nods. He's like, of course, that sounds fascinating. I'm absolutely happy to help. What can I do?
Oh, okay, that's great. No, fantastic. Well, here's the thing. I need to, and then I guess I just start talking the bits I know. It's like, you've got to get this part of the body to talk to this part, and like, I'll do analogies of like routers or like USBs or whatever.
Right.
But
cool. So Nipperkin, I think you don't have this conversation yet. Nipperkin comes to Tynant, and
okay.
says, Tynant, I'm gonna stay and talk to Ferris a bit. It's patient care stuff. You don't need me for anything right now, do you?
No, and I'm sure that if Ferris needs help, that is a good thing to be doing.
He nods. All right. And then yeah, and goes to like talk to you, Ferris.
Okay. Yeah, we have that conversation.
So he's gonna stay and like help you work that stuff out. Dice, now that you've been tended to, you're feeling pretty good. You haven't left this place in like a week. What do you want to do?
Just to clarify something, we sort of agreed at the beginning of this situation that I would be beholden to Ferris in terms of like I will need something to function, basically, like
Yeah, so
electricity.
let's do that move, right?
So-
Because giving
so, like,
someone
So like, yeah, how is that gonna resolve itself? Because if I'm getting magically healed by water, like what's that doing to everything else?
So I don't think this is at the end of the job, right? So part of like right now we're seeing the beginning still. Once Ferris has finished fixing you, making you more stronger, faster, harder, and better, then you'll be reliant on Ferris for power in some fashion. That hasn't happened yet. So you're still,
Okay.
missing an arm and all fucked up, but once you're unfucked, then that's when that'll happen. For right now, I guess my question is,
I mean, I gotta check out my bar.
Ferris spent barter on your behalf, which is like rolling. It's barter with strings, right? So it's like rolling a 10 plus. So what was that agreement, right? Like, what do you, if you gotta manipulate over dice with a 10 plus, what was the thing so that dice knows how to make that choice, right? Like, Ferris, what did you say? It was like, don't get yourself all fucked up again until I'm done, or what?
Let me just have a quick look at how it's worded.
Yeah, because it's like, tell them what you want them to do. Give them a reason. The reason is I will spend my barter to like help and fix you. And if you don't do the thing that I want, you erase one of your stat highlights for the session. If you do, you mark experience. So it's like, what is the thing?
Okay, the thing is, yeah, I need you to stay out of trouble until we can finish this project.
Okay, so that's the conditions. So Dice, if you like get into like physical altercation, you'll erase one of your stat highlights for the rest of the session. But if you can get through the session without getting into a physical altercation, if you can like diffuse them, you'll get XP for doing it. You basically have this constraint on you by Ferris to be like, just take care of yourself until this is done.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Um,
But you can come and go as you please.
yeah, I kind of, I'm putting my jacket on. That's been like lying by my bed. The rest of it, anyway, whatever's left. It's kind of ratty at this point, obviously.
Yeah, burned.
Tie one of the sleeves off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm still armless.
I mean, if your jacket was in the same accent that your arm was, I bet the sleeve of the jacket isn't in much better condition than your arm.
It's probably true that the sleeve is probably pretty fucked up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Even with almost all your damage taken, I don't think Dice is ever quite armless.
Yeah. And I'm gonna look at Ferris and I guess Tynant, if Tynant's still here.
Yeah.
And say, I have to check on my bar. I'm feeling well enough to walk now, Ferris. I'm gonna go check on my bar. Okay?
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Oh. Well. We'll walk and talk then, I guess.
Assuming the patient may leave. And I look to Ferris.
Yep, we've made an agreement, haven't we?
Yeah. I'm not gonna get myself in any more trouble.
Okay. So Tynant, you and Dice are gonna head for Hit Me Up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's take our second break here, and we'll jump to Hit Me Up when we get back. And I'm sure
Right
it'll
on.
be smooth and great, and they'll just welcome you home with
Yeah,
open arms.
100% definitely gonna be super great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Super great. Right when you get there, everything will be fine. Stick around for super greatness when we get back.